Hello friends, welcome back. It's early June of 2022 and today's video is about growing peonies, which is one of my favorite flowers in the garden. Peonies and lilacs are my absolute favorite. I wish you could smell this. That's one huge plus of peonies. They're an extraordinarily fragrant flower. And as you can see, there's just some starting there. They flower over a long period of time too. Unlike some things that just sort of put out a little flush and then they're done, peonies will give you 3, sometimes 4 weeks of flowers depending on the season and variety. Another cool thing, they come in all kinds of colors, as I'll talk about, but they're perennial in zone 3 and up, and so they grow really well in cold climates. They actually, from what I've read, kind of need the cold to set flower buds, and Western Europe we get plenty of colds, but if you're in a lower zone, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're going to do really well. The other thing about peonies, they like full sun, so put them in a sunny spot. In terms of how to care for them and grow them, you can buy them a number of ways. You can buy them in like the cardboard box where you get like a little piece of root. Now, I've just found that to be a big waste, to be honest. These were all here when we moved in, and then I've planted more around the yard, as I'll show you momentarily. But it's best you can go to a nursery or like Lowe's or Home Depot, and you can buy peonies for like $20, a good sized plant in a pot with flowers on it, so that's what I would do. Here's some white peonies. These were also here when we moved in, and we sort of just kind of clumped them up here. Notice they haven't even opened yet. So a cool thing to do with peonies is get some different varieties, get some later ones, like these white ones are a couple weeks after the other ones come out, and so that extends your season by quite a bit. Here's one we bought this year. It's like a red one. They're sort of magenta, not really red, but that one there was also a red one. Here's some more of the white ones that are here. Now, the one thing I'll say is the white ones and the old-fashioned pink tend to smell a lot more. Those sort of designer colors that you see in the store that are fancy sounding, they're cool, but they don't really smell. And I think peonies, one of the cool things is just the fragrance. If you plant them by your windows, like we have them along the house, you can smell them, when the breeze blows in the window, it just brings that smell of peonies in with it. Just such a cool thing for spring. Over there right by our windows, it just smells the entire living room up like peonies for a good month. In terms of pests, deer don't touch them. As I mentioned, we have a lot of deer pressure here. That's why you see these posts. We're in the midst of finishing our deer fence. Now our entire backyard will be fenced in all the way around, actually most of our yard. But peonies are something you don't have to worry about. Deer aren't going to mess with them. I'm not sure if they're actually poisonous to deer or anything, but they've never touched them, and I've never read about deer eating peonies or anything. In terms of other pests, nothing bothers them. I mean, that's what's great about them. You plant them, so I would get some potted peonies from a nursery that maybe have a few flower buds on them. That way you get a little bit of instant gratification and just get to enjoy that amazing, amazing fragrance they have. They're so unique too. They make a great cut flower. You can snip that, bring it inside, put it in a vase. It's a beautiful centerpiece, and your whole house will just smell like peonies. It's just amazing. Couple other care tips. When they do get there, so after the flowers are finished, they'll get big seed pods on them. It's a good idea to just chop those off and discard them. You don't need them to spread the plant. The plant will die back every year to the ground, but it'll come up in the spring even bigger than the year before as it spreads in its roots underground. It's sort of it'll spread laterally very quickly underground, and so it'll just keep popping up year after year. So there's no need to worry about the seed pods, and those seed pods will rob the plant of energy that it could be using to produce more of these beautiful flowers. So there's really no reason to worry about those. In terms of propagation or spreading or just coming back year after year, that will never be a problem with peonies. They are pretty tough plants. So essentially, you plant them and enjoy them for a few decades or more, because they keep spreading and spreading and spreading. They're just a really cool plant. The one thing, if you're going to move them, like let's say you need to dig them up and move them for some reason, wait till the fall. Wait till maybe September, October, let the plant die back. Then you cut the plant off at the ground, or you can just let it die back. It'll just fall, it'll wilt and die onto the ground every fall. But you can chop it down once it turns yellow, just like bulbs. And then you can dig it up and move it without stressing anything. Make sure you get all the roots, dig it up, move it to your new place. It'll wake up in the spring, none the wiser, and just keep doing what it does, because it's a tuber in a sense. I don't know if it's the official word, but basically that's what it looks like, just big root chunks, sort of like rhubarb. So you can move it in that way, put it in its new spot, and it'll wake up in the spring, and it'll be like nothing ever happened. But if you try to move it when it's leafed out, you're probably going to end up really stressing the plant. It'll wilt, it'll look bad, and you don't want to do that. So leave it till the end of the season. Move it in the fall though, and then when it pops up in early spring, it'll be ready to go, and it won't stress the plant at all. So thank you for watching. Highly recommend you add peonies to your garden. There's pretty much, I love these foolproof plants that they just don't require anything from you other than putting them in a sunny spot and, giving them some room to grow. And that's really about it. And you'll be able to enjoy them for many, many years to come.